From the nation's capital, Senator Lee Metcalf and his Washington report to the people of Montana. Senator Metcalf.
My guest today is well known to all Montanans. Mr. Floyd E. Dominy, Commissioner for Reclamation, is probably one of the most important federal officials as far as the resources of Montana are concerned. Commissioner Dominy has done a great deal for the state. He knows the state from border to border, and today we're going to talk about some of the new things that Reclamation is doing in Montana and what we can anticipate in the years ahead. You've entered into a very interesting and significant contract with Montana State University, Floyd. I wonder if you could discuss that tell the people about it.
Well, I'm delighted to discuss it with you and to tell the people in Montana that your state university at Bozeman is now cooperating with us on a contract on weather modification. This is a new endeavor that the Bureau of Reclamation launched starting in fiscal year 1961 with your efforts. And it's expanding every year because Congress recognizes that there's real potential to add water supplies to the West through manipulation of weather. And we were pleased to learn that the Montana State University at Bozeman was doing some instrumentation in that Bridger Mountain country. And we're now cooperating with them on a contract that we just executed. And we hope that this will lead to a continuing program with Bozeman in joint efforts to benefit Montana.
You know, Montana has been in the lead as far as this weather modification is concerned. A few farmers got together up in Ponderay County and with private funds have a seeding program for hail. And then there's Project Skyfire with the Department of Agriculture that has helped arrest lightning fires. And so this is another significant and important development in this whole very exciting program.
That's right. The Forest Service has been doing some fine work in cooperation with Montana people.
We just recently passed some legislation of interest to Montana in your own special department of reclamation. For instance, included in the bill that's now passed both the House and Senate is new possibilities for the Morehead Project in southeastern Montana. Does it look as if we're going to go forward with that in the next couple of years?
Well, these investigations which this new legislation authorizes us to undertake will permit us to update the Morehead report and to evaluate the possibility of making water supplies available for coal development in southern Montana and northern Wyoming. And we still think the Morehead Dam ought to be built and that there's some real benefits for both states if they can get together and work it out. And these studies that this bill which you helped put through just the last few days will permit us to go ahead with that one, as well as some Flathead River Project investigations, some Bitterroot Valley investigations.
Bitterroot's my old home country.
Yes, I know, and there's been a great deal of interest up there in projects that are a little too big for the Soil Conservation Service that have been doing some very active work there. And they want us to investigate these larger projects, and we will now be able to do that.
You know, Floyd, Yellowtail's about through, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. The funds that are in this year's budget that I've testified before your committee about will just about conclude the construction at Yellowtail, and the lake is forming. It's going to be one of the finest recreational lakes in the whole United States, as well as, of course, provide the power and irrigation benefits that go with it.
And the Bighorn Recreation Area has just been passed reported by the House Committee. But there's no fear. Now, a lot of people think that just because Yellowtail is through, that reclamation in Montana is going to slow down or grind to a halt. And some of these things you've outlined indicate that you're going to be in business out there for a long time.
Indeed we are. Reclamation has been active in Montana since 1902 when the act was first passed. And we think there's a lot of water yet to be reclaimed for the benefit of your people.
Well, Floyd, I'm delighted to have you here. I'm delighted to have you give this report to the people of Montana, and I assure you that we've all been grateful for all the things that you've done for us in the development of our resources out there.
It's a pleasure to work with you, Senator.
Washington Report with Montana Senator Lee Metcalf is a weekly service of this television station.